செத்துப்போ, நான் தடுக்க முடியுமா? எல்லா பயப்படியும் ஒரு நாளைக்கு சாக வேண்டியதேன். வாழ்றது முக்கியம் தான், இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல. ஆனா மத்தவங்களுக்கு பயனுள்ள வாழ்க்கையா வாழ்ந்துட்டு செத்து போறேன்னு அந்த சாவுக்கே பெருமை. விதைச்சோன்னு பழம் சாப்பிடணும்னு நினைக்க முடியுமோ? இன்னைக்கு நான் விதைக்கிறேன், நாளைக்கு நீ பழம் சாப்பிடுவ, அப்புறம் ஓ மயன் சாப்பிடுவேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் அவ மயன் சாப்பிடுவேன். அதெல்லாம் பாக்குறதுக்கு நான் இருக்க மாட்டேன். ஆனா விதை நான் போட்டது, இதெல்லாம் பெருமையா? கடமை, ஒவ்வொருத்தருடைய கடமை.
So the audio clip that you guys just heard is actually a scene from the movie Devar Magan, a very important film, a classic, and one of my personal favorites because my man Kamal Hassan not just acts, he wrote the story and the screenplay for the movie. And this movie was directed by Bharathan, and this movie was remade into Hindi and Kannada. Veer Saath Anil Kapoor, Kannada Tange Takkamaga. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is wrong. By Upendra, amazing actor again. This scene is actually a conversation between a father and a son. You know, the hashtag the father-son talk. That was lame. Okay. So the father character played by the great Shivaji Ganeshan. Okay, if you guys have ever seen the movie Shivaji the Boss, you know, Rajinikanth sits like at a chai shop and he calls up the villain and the villain goes like, "Who are you?" And Rajinikanth goes like,
"Parashakti hero da." Shivaji, pera ketta odane chumma adarudilla.
So Rajinikanth is actually referring to this Shivaji Ganeshan who was actually the lead in the movie Parashakti 1952. Fun fact. Okay, coming back to the story. So the story goes like, again the son is played by Kamal Hassan, obviously. So the story goes like, the son who returns back from London after his modern education wants to settle in the city, okay, and has his own, start his own chain of restaurants and marry his long-time girlfriend and have a comfortable life, money, everything, blah blah blah, that all of us want. But his father, on the other hand, the chieftain of the village and an uneducated man, he wants his son to stay back and look after the people, be the ray of sunshine, provide education, improvement, and basically be the next leader, the next chieftain for the people. And that's the plot, that's the story of the movie. So coming back to the scene of the movie, the special scene. So in the scene, the dialogue, the conversation. So I think I need to translate what he's exactly saying because for the non-Tamil speaking listeners, so I will be doing a dramatic reading. Okay, I'll try my best doing this, so please bear with me. Everybody has to die one day or the other. I don't deny that. But a man who lived and dies for the sake of others is immortal after death. A certain sense of pride at the end. Can you hope to reap the fruit just after you sow the seed? No. Today I'll sow the seed, tomorrow you will reap its fruits. Later you will sow the seed, then your children will reap its fruits. And it'll go on and on and on. But I won't be alive to see all that. No. But I'll always be the one who's sown the seed. This is not out of favor or courtesy, but out of responsibility. So, nowadays, in this modern world, we are advanced. Definitely. Technology, AI, we are rushing towards Mars, SpaceX program, we are educated. But how many of us actually learn stuff? Think about it. Okay, reality is we are actually educated or taught to survive, Basic thing. It's a basic principle of every human being to every living creature. Like everything in the world which breathes and feels things, they want to survive, whatever it is. So there's definitely nothing wrong in survival. So, what is this thing about? But nowadays, in this modern world, and in this century, in this time, we live in, it's not just survival. It's definitely not just survival. It's more like survival of the fittest. And in movie terms, if we think about it, it's the Hunger Games, people. It's definitely the Hunger Games. You go everywhere, it is the Hunger Games. You fight. You have to put in effort. More of a fight than, in a fight, you actually have to hurt other people, you need to shed some blood, you need to, make some damage to get things, you want. And, that is what is happening in this modern world, it seems. Hunger Games. So we have to show that we are better than ever, like someone else. We fight for our own happiness. We fight for our own ambition. We fight for our own dreams. We fight for everything, We fight for everything. And no matter what what was the outcome or what's the, how many people you hurt, no matter the casualties. And this idea goes for big nations as well, not just us normal people. And that is Kamal Haasan right there, a product of this modern day. And his world kind of collides with his father's, where in that world, his father's world, is all about honor and, justice and sacrifice and, all the good things that we see in the old movies. And the basic thing, or the basic plot of this, at least the first half of this movie, is all about these two worlds colliding. And, the ideologies and everything. And they're trying to prove which one is good, being this, the product of the new world, the baby of the child of the new world, or being the old, the traditional, the honor. And they have a face-off, basically, both ideologies in this movie, in the first half at least. And the second half, it's completely different, and it's completely different. The second half goes and, in a very different direction. Everyone should go and watch this movie at least once, and I did cry once. I think the first time I saw this movie, I did cry. So, it's a very emotional movie, amazing songs, amazing acting, amazing screenplay, amazing direction, amazing everything. This is a gold. This movie is gold, like platinum. So that was our first segment, and welcome to Accidental Podcast Episode 3. So this is gonna be a solo podcast, and my first solo podcast, Thank you. And a big shout out to my guys back home in Dubai. We did our last episode all together. And I have my imaginary friend Chuck, who's sitting right opposite to me. So for today, for this episode, we have another 3 segments, I'm not sure yet. So today's main topic is modern thinking, okay? So we are gonna spit some fire. I have a special guest who do not want to reveal his identity. He's a very special guest, trust me. And we are definitely gonna spit some fire. And at least he is. I'm not gonna talk so much. I do not wish to talk so much. So guys, stick around. It's gonna be fun. So, did you guys know, fun fact, did you guys know that nostalgia is actually a disease? Back then, it was called severe case of homesickness. There were 5,213 cases identified, 58 deaths, actually out of nostalgia. Nostalgia, if you ever feel homesickness, people, trust me, it might be something serious, so please go get checked it out. And on a serious note, I really appreciate that Mr. Satish, my good friend of mine, Satish, and me being the number one fan of his, did an amazing good score. He did the music for this episode. And the intro music that you guys has heard is by Satish, an amazing composer. So thanks a lot for the segment. And to get to the serious shit, so let's rumble. Okay, that sucked. Let's go into the man's brain. Let's go into the world of modern thinking. Let's go into the world of modern thinking. Let's go into the world of modern thinking. So we have a special guest who really do not want to reveal his identity, and he's one of the most interesting people I've met in Bangalore. And today, first of all, we are going to talk about modern thinking. And modern thinking, I feel like I think you're more better in.
Yeah, I will try to explain.
No, actually the thing is, you traveled a lot. You traveled throughout Europe. You've been to the Middle East. You were in India. You did your college in India and everything. So, what's the big difference? I remember once when we were having a conversation long back, you said Indian people are pretending to be modern.
Yeah.
And Europeans, they are actually they have their own way or something like that. So
true. When I was I am in India right now, but I've seen things changing in time. From I was in my 10th when it was 2005. From that time, things changed differently. Like some people were really modern because they were educated in Europe or America, but there are some people who are inspired by TV shows and movies. But yet again, they don't have that kind of mentality, what is required to be modern. Like, for example, when I was in Europe, things were different for me. It was like a cultural shock because people were too modern. People had the dressing style was too different, and their behavior was very different. But when I came to India, people try to dress modern.
Okay.
I'm not just talking about females here, even the males, even the guys. Like, they want... when they think modern, like, okay, I have to have a girl who looks very modern, who looks very like hip. But deep down inside, when they look for a wife, they want very
like, I can say it's
traditional, following the culture, following the religion. That's not being modern.
And also they want a virgin female.
Yeah, that's true. They shouldn't have a boyfriend. She should be virgin. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
Like everyone, we are the youth. We are in the modern times. Everyone has a past. We have to accept the past and then move on. And even the girls wearing dress which is revealing. Yes, of course, you are modern, but this is India is like 1.25 billion people and I don't think so how many people have watched this Western TV shows, have watched the movies. For them, seeing something is like, okay, we are like thunderbolt struck. So they will watch you, but you can't abuse them. Mm-hmm. You can't say them they are cheap, they are low standards, because they have never seen this before.
Exactly. And you can't go like, oh my god, he's a pervert, he's looking at me. You can't say that, right?
If there is perks and cons for everything.
Exactly.
You wear that kind of dress, you grab attention. And you have to be ready to get that attention.
Yeah.
Maybe some people can say good words, maybe some people have, she has good dressing style, she carries herself well. Some people can talk very like low standards. That's normal.
Yeah.
In Europe, what I saw, this kind of modern dressing, they are not from yesterday or they are not from a decade ago. Mm-hmm. It's from the centuries. Even I have a friend who is 55 years old. Mm. Even though she was brought up in a Soviet era, and she's a Ukrainian, but she was in the Soviet era before 1991. Mm-hmm. When I see her photos or videos, maybe like 30, 40 years ago, they were modern. The dressing was modern. They had like dresses which were short. There was a revealing neckline. So for them, this has been their culture.
Okay.
It's not like they are from yesterday. And when I was in Europe, I had students there's a program called Erasmus, where students from other European countries, they come for 1 semester. I met French people, German people, Icelandic people. The same thing, what happens is, for them, smoking, the girls smoking, is normal for them because they have done this for decades.
Okay.
Even drinking, going out with boys. Here, you have to measure your own safety. You don't know the boy with you can take an advantage over you because you're alone going late at nights. And we know what things happen past in India, because you can't expect the boy in front of you to be too modern just because he's behaving modern, having a cool haircut, wearing like all those jeans and tracksuits. You can't expect. You have to measure your own safety.
I think that thing actually came up in the movie Pink. Have you seen the movie?
No, I have not seen the movie Pink. Unfortunately, I've heard it's a good movie.
Basically, the movie is like it's okay for a guy to go to a pub and pick up a girl, and but it's something like that.
That is it. Even when I went in Europe, I went for a beach. There were a lot of things which I never seen before.
You went to nude beach.
The people were nude, the girls were nude, and the boys didn't care.
Yeah.
Because the boy have seen this time and again, and it's used to them.
Exactly.
So, but when you go out, you have to understand that you are in Bangalore, or maybe Bombay, or Mumbai, if I say. It's a bit modern because they had the coast, they had the British, they are modern, they are ahead of Bangalore in time lapse. But Bangalore, please, I request you people, measure your own safety. Like, okay, you wear the clothes, but don't abuse people who say bad comments to you, because Bangalore has not changed. Just because some people have educated themselves well, went to America or Australia or Europe, you come and don't suddenly apply those things here. That has perks and cons. Maybe you will attract someone, a handsome boy, who thinks that you're modern, but at the same time, there are a lot of guys behind you just for your looks. And you mislead people.
Yeah, misleading is a big thing.
You just show you're modern, and when a guy comes, asks you for a cup of coffee, you make a huge issue. Oh, such a pervert, he's on me. That's not it. Not reject him, say that you have a boyfriend or you're not interested, thank you, be nice, and reject. If you hurt him, you know what happens is a backlash.
Yeah.
He can hurt you back somehow, maybe. So, if you're wearing that kind of clothes, please know the circumstances what you will face in the future.
Exactly. Okay. Completely. Okay, we were just talking about clothing. We're coming back to like mentality.
Yeah.
How you think, how people you think education plays a big part?
First of all, education does not make a man civilized. That's a myth.
True, yeah.
There are people who are not educated but yet civilized, and there are people who are educated and yet stupid.
Yeah.
So, but education, how it changes when you're studying in a co-ed, you understand the behavior, the characteristics of an opposite sex.
Yeah.
So you know your limits, you know how to talk, you know how to behave. When you go in Europe, it's very open. Because, for example, when I was meeting my classmates, they used to hug me. And and they used to kiss me on the cheeks. But here,
I think so specific.
Yeah, because when we had a farewell, we hugged each other, we kissed each other. Even our professors who hugged and kissed each other. So that thing you can't expect here in India. Everyone can't. Every girl who wears a jeans and a t-shirt, we can't. Even this is for the boys. Coming from Europe or America, don't expect the girls here are the same. Don't force them, and don't abuse them after a coffee. Because there, after a coffee, if you're good enough, you have made her happy enough or satisfied enough, you might end up somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Here it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Here just to ask her for a movie, it takes months.
Yeah, exactly. You need to put in time, you need to put in effort, money, everything.
And don't get disheartened when the girl rejects you, because it's a different culture.
Exactly.
We live in a very different culture, we live in a very different place. It affects the mentality is different. Even the girls, when they come out, I have seen they try to run their accents. Even I do have an accent, but I don't try to run down in India because it looks pretty awkward.
Yeah.
You make people feel bad, and at the same time you make yourself a fun, a joke. Like, oh, he was all his life, he was here. Just for 2 years, 3 years, he has been to those parts of the world and he's trying to make an accent. So just know how to behave. And when it comes to relationships, everyone, even the Orthodox Muslim girls, have relationships in the past.
Yeah.
Now it's the smartphone era, it's the Facebook era, it's the Twitter era, it's the Instagram era. Everyone has a past. For the guys, I know guys are very they suddenly become Sherlock Holmes when it comes to girls. They try to see what's her past, this, that. Don't try to dig in too much.
Yeah, they just have to accept that every female has a past.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And I have heard guys asking the girls, like, did you have a boyfriend? Yes. Did you kiss him? Did you hug him? Did he done all that? Did you had sex? What was the positions?
Exactly.
That's pretty awkward. Not even awkward. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
Don't ask. If you like the girl, don't see her past. Just accept her.
I think that's also being like a part of being mature.
Yeah, definitely mature. Because as you know that you won't get anything except you destroy your relationship. You hurt your relationship.
Okay.
Relationships are not built on like physical appearances, or you say love just because you heard some romantic songs these days. You don't feel that looking at girl it's love. It's the biggest part of in a relationship is trust.
True.
Once it's broken, it's too hard to get it back.
Okay.
So I tell you,
but you can get it back.
It's difficult.
It's
like
difficult.
I was reading a book and it was a very nice book. One guy just wrote relationships comparing to a glass. That once a glass is broken, it can't be brought back. Yet again, it's very difficult to bring out pieces and assemble them.
Yeah.
If again you take that glass back, was like before, but there is a scars in the glass which can't be taken out.
Exactly. You'll always have that, the other
every
side.
time you see that glass, you will feel the pain or the hard times you had in a relationship. So don't try to dig in the past too much. Move ahead. Don't try to ask her. And even girls, there is nothing called friends after a breakup.
Yeah.
You will hurt your present breakup. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I have seen girls who are in touch with their ex-boyfriend on Facebook, liking photos and commenting. Don't do that.
Okay.
You're not with that guy just because you didn't have compatibility. So you don't have compatibility with that guy. That is why in the first place you broke up. And guys are very conscious about their girls, and they try to dig in
They'll
the past.
Be snooping in.
And then they see, okay, this guy is on your Facebook.
Yeah.
You have liked his photos. He had liked your photos. That is what hurts a relationship.
True.
Don't do that. Okay, I'm not telling that if you see him, beat him with a slugger or a baseball bat.
Exactly.
No, I'm not asking you to be wild. You can be normal, see him, wish him, say hi, say bye, but don't try to be friends on Facebook. Don't try to follow them on Instagram. It's a waste.
Yeah.
You didn't have compatibility at that time. You broke up, and then now you're trying to build friendship for what?
Okay, exactly. No, coming back to that education part again. Okay. You think like education plays? You told it does play a big part in changing a person from being a typical Indian to a modern Indian or whatever that is. So like, how about when I say there is a hookup culture?
Yeah.
There is. You have to accept it. You have to accept it. Yeah. Okay. So you have to accept it. Now, when these both worlds collide, the idea of the both worlds colliding and catastrophic.
Yeah.
It can just like for an example, there is a guy who is was a virgin and who is nothing, he's this pure-hearted soul, kind of shit.
I get that. I have a few examples of that.
So you have that kind of person, and he will definitely be expecting a female who is just like him.
Don't expect that.
Don't expect that.
Because you don't know. And sometimes looks deceive.
Yeah.
There are girls, because I have seen in many Marwadis in the Muslim the religion, and even the Hindu girls, they pretend to be Brahmin, they pretend to be the Muslim girls wearing burqa. But inside you don't know. There are some girls who wear jeans, who wear t-shirts, and they are virgin.
Yeah.
Okay, and there are girls who wear burqas, who wear cover their head and the marwaris. Believe me, they are not. So I'm not just going against the orthodox people, but I'm trying to say that how they use a cover or
Exactly.
a disguise.
Disguise.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
can say
perfect
that,
word.
disguise.
Disguise.
So don't expect that. Expect, this is your girl, you have to respect her, you have to give her a space, you have to respect her privacy. She will have some privacy. Win the trust of a girl. You don't have to ask her by force. Win the trust, she will open up everything. It's not like a huge deal. And after even she opens up her past or her black side or dark side, whatever, try to act mature. She's your girl. Tell her that don't do this again. Give her a warning or just say it in a very nice way. If she is sensible enough, if she is mature enough, she won't do that stupidity again.
Okay.
If she does that, then just walk away from the relationship. Don't this Kabir Singh all shit. It doesn't work in real life.
True.
No one hires a doctor who's a drunkard.
Yeah.
So don't just fall for movies. It's not true. Real life is way different than what we see in the movies.
Okay, that I have seen like a lot of people seeing a lot of series and movies and things like that. They pursue that. Maybe I want to be like Katrina, I want to be like, that, I want to be like them. I mean, because they portray that kind of a lifestyle as well.
I'll tell you one thing. Few days, I'm not against Deepika. Deepika Padukone or Padukone, I don't know what's her surname. It's very hard to pronounce.
There are a lot of fans.
Yeah. I'm not against her. No offense, Deepika, if you're hearing me, if you hear sometime, please don't. It's like Deepika, she's a star.
Yeah.
She's a movie star and she's like a huge star. So one time in this woman empowerment, there was an ad coming on TV. She says, okay, I am a girl, I can do this, I can do that. Yes, this is my bra strap, I can show it off. Guess what? Every girl can't do it because Deepika has bodyguards with her. She won't get eve teased.
Yeah.
She won't get disturbed on the street. Don't follow Deepika. Okay, makeup good. Makeup good. Try to act like her. Try to be modern like her. But when it comes to clothing, know your limits.
Yeah.
Where are you going? In the night, if you're coming from a club, if you're wearing a skimpy dress or a revealing dress, you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have a taxi. You have to go in an auto. And we all know what happened in New Delhi.
Yeah.
The girl coming in the midnight from the movie Life of Pi, and what happened to her, it was very unfortunate.
Life of Pi?
Yeah, it was the movie Life of Pi. She was coming out with her boyfriend and she went into a bus where she was raped. I don't know what kind of dress she was wearing. She went into a bus, she was raped by 5 men, I guess.
I think so, some 7?
It was strange, it was
5, yeah, okay.
It was really bad. That is barbaric. That was barbaric. That is horrendous, if I can say. That is what we have to understand. We are not so modern. Even if we are modern, understand the surroundings around you. They might be not so modern. They might have not been to America or to Europe or Australia, whatever. They have not seen Big Bang Theories, How I Met Your Mother, Friends.
No, How I Met Your Mother, the Barney, the character Barney, right?
I'm extremely sorry.
There is this character where he hooks up with the female every night.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in India.
Yeah.
The only female you can hook up every night is like in the red light area.
Exactly.
That is the only place in India where you can hook up with every new female. It doesn't happen in India.
We constantly want to pursue that, what American culture portrays.
We can't do that. That's the bad part. If you want to be that, go to America. That's the only safest thing I can say.
Yeah.
Don't come here. I mean, I see guys playing around with girls' lives. They pretend to be modern. They take her out. They have sex. And then they say, oh my God, no, I cannot take a girl like you. If you have been with me, I don't know with how many guys you have been out. That is stupidity. It was you who took her out.
Yeah.
And even girls, just know your limits. Understand the boy just because he's driving a fancy car.
Isn't limit a harsh word?
No.
Limit.
No. It's not a harsh word. You have to understand. Where do you have to stop?
I mean, when we say limit, it's more like, okay, girls, you should have limits.
No,
it's okay, you are unlimited. I mean, it kind of portrays like that. It does.
In all history, what we have learned is the world is a male-dominated world.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
Very few females have come up, and every female can't be a Margaret Thatcher, Golda Meir, Indira Gandhi. I can go on and on. Not every female has. Very few. And I heard that the people of America didn't choose Hillary Clinton because they didn't wanted a woman to rule them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a rumor, it's a conspiracy
rumor,
theory.
yes.
I don't understand. That is what I'm saying. Guys, even though they go out, they fail an exam, somehow they get a job, they have roman on with many girls, at the end they get married.
Yeah.
This is India. I'm so sorry if you're born in this part of the world for the ladies. Ladies, even a small dot can end up in a divorce.
True.
I'm not harsh on ladies, even I do have sisters.
Okay.
I grew up with women because my mother, I had a maternal grandmother who was very close to me. I understand the pain and the restrictions of a girl. I have seen it because my sister is a computer science engineer and she wanted to pursue her M.Tech in America. But as we come from a not too orthodox family, we come from a family where we are very traditional people, we didn't allow our sister to go to America. Even though she had better education than me, I'm just a BCom who did my master's in Europe. It's a MBA. But my sister is a computer science engineer and she wanted to do an M.Tech in America. So, excuse me. So that's the point. We have restrictions because we know people around. So we cannot just force girls to not to do that, but girls themselves have to understand where do they stand. If you want to be modern, definitely. You can convince your parents, go to America. I know a family, a man, my uncle, he has 3 daughters. They said, no, we don't want to get married in India. Somehow they convinced their parents and they are in America now, all 3 sisters. And they're doing as their will. And they are responsible for their own actions and behaviors whatsoever. So if you want to be modern and you want to be free, this is not the part where you have to be free.
Unfortunately, sorry.
Very sorry for that. I apologize on behalf of all Indian men. I'm very sorry. It's very good to be modern.
Okay.
Because I was raised in a very strict family. Then I went to Middle East. I work in Qatar. Okay, I don't want to say that country's name. I was in a petroleum industry. Already there were no girls, and I was in a shift. So definitely no girls. And I know how to be jailed or caged. And when I went to Europe, believe me, I felt heaven on earth. It was true. Freedom is a very beautiful thing. Freedom is very, very good. But you have to know where to get the freedom. You can't struggle, okay, if you try to make freedom in India for girls, you will not get it. Maybe the next generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you can create a benchmark for that.
So in my last segment, like I was talking about sowing the seed of, an idea or freedom, for example. Okay. So to sow the seed, taking that idea, don't you think like whatever, like, you mentioned some few people who are actually trying to, jump out of this and they're showing out, So isn't it important to be like that?
To show that.
To show like, okay, this is it, enough, we are sowing the seed, we are putting in a new idea. I mean, it takes time.
Every new revolution takes time.
Exactly.
It's not, anything can't be overnight.
So, exactly. So, we can't just go say like, okay, no. Yeah, we are sorry, but this can't happen.
It will happen. Look,
yeah.
Everything changes. Like, even nowadays, I see movies. For example, let me talk about movies, how movies are. Before we had movies with content, before we had stories, before we had good, like, movies with subject. But now it's like, make some sex movies. Not sex movies. Like, make movies with a lot of sexual content.
True.
Okay? And try to have that, like, double meaning jokes. Or, some revealing scenes, and that becomes a hit.
Yeah, item numbers,
strange item numbers, we even don't know.
Yeah.
So that is...
You're saying that's like sowing the seed?
No, that's not sowing the seeds. That's, for the parents whose children are pursuing to be modern, if the parents see that, is this modernism? They take in a very negative way.
Yeah.
That is not modernism. That is like being a hippie. Hippie people just blow some weed and they smoke some weed, act strange, end up nude. Yeah, that's hippie culture.
Yeah.
That's not modernism. Modernism is portrayed very wrong in India. It is played very wrong in India. I'm sorry to say, for the movie makers, please try to make better movies. Like, for example, if you have seen Salam Namaste, it's a movie with modern thinking. Okay? So, it's a modern thinking movie where, there is like live-in relationships, where there is premarital sex, but they have showed in a very sensible way. And Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. It's again, it's a movie with like sense modernism. You have, you go through this, you have sex before marriage, but it has showed in a very like decent, not decent way. We cannot show sex, but again, that is the wrong thing in India. We can't say sex is decent. But sex is really decent.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is.
It's the better thing how you explain the love in the next level.
Yeah.
So sex is decent. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the perspective should change the world. How we
Have you seen the Masti series? Masti.
Oh my god!
So
shit.
Their modernism is like a porn movie. And when the parents see that, after going to Bangalore, after going to Mumbai away from us, you will act like this.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That's
a wrong portrayal of being modern.
Yeah.
You're not modern that way. When I was in Europe and I was seeing my professors who were wearing very, clothes, I was really like, first time, I had 100% attendance almost. In my 12th, I failed because I didn't have attendance in India. And when I went for my master's, it was 100% attendance because my professors were very beautiful. And revealing neckline or the cleavage, what you can say.
When you just said that, I remember one of my economics teachers back in my college.
Short skirts. And even my girls sitting around, even here in India, please stop saying handsome and fair in one line.
Yeah, true.
Everyone who is fair is not handsome. I can show you actors who are fair but ugly as shit or ugly as fuck. And there are men who are dark like Idris Elba, Will Smith, who's that guy? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
The Killmonger. They are dark and they are handsome. You don't have to be white and handsome or fair and handsome. Even girls who have dusky skin, please don't be too conscious about your skin color. You're beautiful that way. Try to carry that in a very good way. Try to have good hairstyles or nourish your hair, nourish your skin. Try to be attractive.
You should look good for yourself.
Yeah, first of all, look good for yourself. When you see in the mirror, you have to feel that, I am beautiful, I am attractive. When you can't attract yourself, how do you expect other people getting attracted to you?
Exactly.
And don't dress to impress others. Wear what you are comfortable in.
Yeah, exactly.
What suits your personality, what suits you, the occasion. Just because someone said that, don't do it. It's really senseless.
Just because someone says that you're fat or you're bad or this.
And even like I said, when I was in my class in Europe, I was like surrounded by white girls with blondes. They are like beautiful. And then I realized I had demand there. Even being like
this
dusky.
is one of the things I want to get to. Even
I had a dusky skin color and like brownish. I was in demand. Everyone were liking me. Everyone were coming up to me. It was beautiful. And please don't believe the media of racism.
Yeah.
There is no racism in Europe.
Yeah.
I don't know in certain parts. Look, the biggest racist country in the world I can say is India.
Yeah.
Like they are fair and lovely, fair and handsome. Imami fair glow. This is nothing.
Aryans and
Dravidians.
Dravidians.
No, don't do that shit. That's not real.
Yeah.
That is not real.
Okay, there is another thing that you said I want to get down to about European women wanting Indian guys for the case of commitment.
Yeah, and our guys are losing that shit. The bad point is our guys are trying to follow the Western culture and they are losing that thing. The word commitment, it is very important, right? Because the Western ladies or the girls, they want Indian men because we love one lady, we can do anything for her, and we are committed with one woman. This is how our ancestors were. Maybe some of you, there are always bad apples in a rack, but we can't throw up the whole apples, the rack of apples. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be committed to that girl, and even girl, please don't try to dump that guy very badly so that you create a monster of him. Just try to, if you're not committed, don't show him the dreams which are not there.
Exactly.
Telling that, okay, you should know that you have, they are like intercaste marriages. They say that after 2 years they broke up because their respective parents won't agree. Didn't you know this 2 years ago? All this time you say love, 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 in the end love doesn't matter. That creates monsters.
Yeah,
that
logic matters.
Don't do that. If you're not ready for this, don't do it.
Exactly. So the guys out there, European women are actually searching for you.
Please take I just request every Indian guy who's finished your bachelor's or engineering, please go to Europe, America or Canada.
Even the females. Even the females.
Okay, I don't want to say that, but the men there, they are not fond of Indian women.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in America. Maybe I've heard that in America, the white males are looking out for Indian brides. I don't know about America, but I heard that is in America. But in Europe, I didn't see a white man or a European Caucasian guy with an Indian wife. I've seen a lot of Bangladeshi men married with a European girl, a Sri Lankan married with an Indian girl, Nepalis marrying with an Indian girl, Indians marrying with an Indian girl, and our beloved neighbors.
Okay. Okay. The last point I want to get down to is, have you seen the movie Dear Zindagi?
Alia Bhatt?
Alia Bhatt.
No, unfortunately, no.
Amazing movie. Go check it out. Seriously, go check it out. Okay, so I want to get another completely on the opposite side of the road, like modern education or whatever, and loneliness.
Okay.
Loneliness.
Okay.
We were talking about like completely bursting out stuff. Like very common shit. But I know a lot of people because of this who actually go through a big phase of loneliness, depression. Like maybe they're not capable of accepting, or I'm not sure. What is your view on that?
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. Being lonely is actually sometimes good. When you're in a washroom. I do this when I'm very lonely, when I feel so bad, when I try to talk to myself, and that is really healing. That really works. Like suddenly I see myself in a mirror, I light a cigarette up, I smoke, unfortunately. So when I try to talk to myself, it's really comforting, because no matter what, you won't lie to yourself.
Yeah, true.
You can lie to anyone, but you can't lie to... When you ask the truth, what is lacking in me and why I am in this situation, you can't lie for yourself. And there are some mistakes what you make so that you end up being lonely. Somewhere it's your mistake. Either you trust someone too much that you end up being lonely, or you try to be a tricky person, for that karma hits you and you become a lonely person. Somewhere it's our mistake. Even trusting a person too much is a mistake. Okay? True. So what I say is, try to talk to yourself. It is healing, it calms you down, it relaxes you down, and try to love yourself. And that's the point I'm saying. Why a person being alone is depressed and commits suicide? Because he does not love himself. Even seeing himself in the mirror, he hates it. I'm not talking about physical attributes. Even I'm saying personal characters. There are people who are very cunning, and they end up they try to cheat people, and when the people boycott or discard them, they end up being lonely, and they say that, okay, we are bad people, we commit suicide. That's shit. Try to change your character. True. And there are people who are extremely stupid, who trust everyone, and people utilize innocence.
It's just like Stanley Ipkiss said, nice guys finish last.
Yeah. So don't try to be too nice, and don't try to be too cunning. You have to understand where do you stand.
Okay.
So that's the point. And being lonely is not wrong. Being single is not wrong.
Being depressed is wrong?
Being depressed is the worst. Yeah. For example, a person suffering from cancer, there are medicines you can get cured by cancer. Or if you're dying, you're doing maybe you did some shit to get cancer, maybe you smoked too much or you had alcohol too much, maybe that's why you're dying. But depression, even the medicines won't work, because it's in you.
Yeah.
How you have to bring out that person who is being depressed, who is being caged. So being lonely is not wrong, but being depressed is wrong. Sometimes being lonely...
Sometimes depression is not a choice.
Definitely not a choice, but you have to know how... Because when there was a time in my 12th, I was having money in my pockets. There were friends who were around me who were saying, if Ehsan comes, then only we will go for the trip. If anyone doesn't come, we'll not go. And those same friends, when I failed my 12th, they were saying, oh, we don't want him. We don't want him. If he's coming, we're not coming.
Okay.
So that depression I went through in a very bad way. My own friends, the friends who I trusted, the friends who I was counting on, were like trying to ignore me, trying to leave me. Then I realized you shouldn't depend on anyone.
Okay.
Self-dependency is very important.
Okay.
Self-strength. And again, I read a proverb somewhere. They say if you want to be strong, learn to fight alone. So there is no way. Even I was depressed a few days ago. I was very tense. Then you said everything will be good in time. Patience is the key. And how you get that patience, I don't know. Some people become spiritual on that. Try to pray. And some people try some other things like drinking and smoking and trying to talk to someone. So it depends on you how to take out that time.
Actually, the patience part I kind of partially got from you. Remember that once you told me the story about Akbar and Birbal?
Yeah, Akbar and Birbal. That's what they say.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to end the podcast with that story, by the way.
Yeah, definitely I will say that because that is how my life changed. When I was going to bad times, this story my father told me actually. So when I was going through a bad time. So this story is a very good story that everything passes. Everything, you have to be ready. There is a movie, I don't remember this. Oh my God, it's OMG. Yeah, there he says, what a true man for whom, a man is a true man for whom both happiness and
there is
sadness is equal.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't become too joyful when he's happy and becomes too depressed when he's sad. No, you have to take both equally. Yeah. That is life. And another proverb I can say is, one poet said, it is easy to cross a sea without wetting your legs, but it's not easy to live a life without wetting your eyes.
Oh, deep man.
Very deep. Yeah, this is truth of life. Happiness is not always our friend. Around the corner there is accidents or there is bad things happening. Even like, for example, you're going through a good time, maybe someone dies in your home. Your grandfather or grandmother dies. You have to go through that stuff, the work stuff which we have. Even the companies nowadays, when they want to attract employees, they say, okay, we are the modern company, we are this, we are that, you will have American system. And when you go there, it's like typically like you're working in this KGF movie, in the Narachi. You're just nothing but a slave, you have to take bosses' shit. Even bosses should stop pressurizing their employees, because I know you were fucked by your bosses before you, but you have to change. You don't have to put the same shit on your juniors. You have to change, you have to be friendly, you have to be nice. Okay, don't be too friendly and sit in the lap. But you have to not repeat those things what your bosses did to you. Stressing, no, do it. I will sit like this. I came through a hard shit and I'm sitting here, you have to go through the hard shit. You are not giving employees importance. You are not giving your youth importance. We are today's youth.
Millennials.
So don't do that. Don't hurt people. There is no fun in hurting people. Believe me.
Okay, so do you want to conclude it by saying what we have to do? Or the modern culture and the traditional culture and the Indian culture?
Look, Indian culture is very beautiful. That's what I can say.
Okay.
But you have to look for the loopholes. You have to look to happiness. How do you get through that tradition? Look, there's a very good businessman, Carlos Ghosn, who was the CEO of Renault. When he went to Japan, Japan is an extremely traditional country. This is the only country where they have a traditional suicide. Okay, so that kind of country. But when he was helping Nissan to be a better company against a heavyweight like Toyota, he didn't try to break the Japanese rules. He was trying to go through it. So look happiness or look modernism through the tradition, where you can have it. And again, if you want too much modernism, do something and go away from here, because it can't change overnight. Maybe after 10 years, 20 years. So that's what I'm trying to say. Think modern rather than dress modern.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that was segment 3 with our very special guest, And I told you, I did tell you that there was going to be spitting of fire. So, I think that definitely happened, the spitting of fire part. So after listening to this, you guys might have your own opinion on this, opinion on this subject, or, you guys might have hated it, not agreed with most of the things we said, or it might, maybe more some of you might have agreed with this, and some of you might not agree with this so much. And just, if you want to let us know, you can let us know what you think about this. And you can comment, email, anything, send me a text, DM, in 180 Creations, anything is fine. And for the last segment, it's gonna be story time. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. If you listen to the last segment, the third segment, in the middle, or I think most to the end of the interview, we spoke about a story where story about we didn't actually talk so much about it. We mentioned it in the whole thing about this too shall pass, that phrase. So why is it so important? And there is an amazing story behind it. And this was actually told to me by my special guest, long back. And I would love to tell you guys the story. Okay. So the story goes long back, there was Akbar and Birbal. So Akbar, one day, minding his own business, chilling around, doing his king things, and suddenly one of his ministers go Birbal is so wise and he's so amazing, blah blah blah. And just like any other person, he gets jealous, and suddenly he's like, no, and he goes I shall test Birbal on his knowledge and wisdom. If it was me, I would have just with that ego and everything, I would have just killed Birbal off. So this guy is okay, I'll test him. Okay. So suddenly he calls up Birbal, and Birbal comes, and Birbal is okay, dude, what do you want? And and Akbar goes bro, I actually have a test for you. I mean, it's it's not such a big deal, but it is such a big deal. People say that you're wise and you're so amazing. I have an amazing, tricky test for you. So Akbar goes Birbal, I want you to make something, or write something, or orate something, anything. Because of that, a happy person should be sad after listening to it, or seeing that thing or anything. After coming into contact with that thing, a happy person should go sad, and a sad person should turn happy, like that. It should be something like that. And Akbar gave Birbal a week, if I'm not wrong, a week. Yeah. And so a week passed, and Akbar gets all oh my god, what is he knows he'll do something. And Birbal accepted the challenge. And so on the last day of the time given to Birbal, Akbar rushes to his home, and he's open. And Birbal opens his door, and he's sire, oh my king, lordship, blah blah blah. And Birbal is shut up, just show me, don't do all this, show me what you made, or show me the thing, so show me the thing that makes a happy person sad and a sad person happy. So Birbal passes him a note, and Akbar goes this is it, this is what you come up with within a week, dude. Fine, and he opens. It's more like a letter, like small note, and he opens it up, and in that it's written, "This too shall pass," and this time shall pass. When you think about it, that's the ultimate reality of life. That is the most ultimate reality of life. You see that definitely a happy person is going to be sad, and a sad person is going to be happy. For a happy person, he will know that there are things coming up, there are going to be like shit going to be thrown at his face, and a a sad person who is actually going through shit knows that the sky is just as dark before the dawn, things are gonna get better. Things are gonna be fine. Things are gonna be fine. So that was the story. People always used to say that I'm a very shitty storyteller. I think I did my best. So please. So yeah. And that was the last segment for this podcast. So I think you guys enjoyed this. If you guys want to comment, if you guys want to reach out, and if you guys want to contact and tell me how it all went, just DM me, message, email. If my personal friends who think this was very lame, you can WhatsApp me, Okay, so quoting my good friend, all is love, all is fun, no hate. And this is Accidental Podcast, Episode 3. And